Hello, this is Glenn Roebuck from Genesis Health System with a message for our friends at the Quad City Times Plus 60 Club. I hope this message finds you well today. It seems appropriate for us to spend a little bit of time talking about the upcoming holiday season. Clearly, COVID-19 has made an impact on how we'll all be celebrating the holidays this year. And we've all heard all the things that we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be traveling. We shouldn't be in large groups. We need to always wear our mask. We need to keep our 6 feet of distance. We need to wash our hands. We all know the mantra by now. There's over 200,000 Americans who have died from COVID-19 so far, and will probably approach 300,000 by Christmas Eve. And currently, our healthcare systems and hospitals throughout the nation, and particularly in the Midwest, on the brink of being unable to care for those who are in need. Yet, despite all of this, 38% of people plan to travel and be in a large group for Thanksgiving holiday coming up in just a couple of days, and only 1 in 3 say they really plan to wear a mask. So are people just really out of touch? Or, frankly, are people willing to take an enormous risk for some human contact? Vinay Prasad, who's an epidemiologist at the University of San Francisco, really said it best, and he described this. By engaging in groups to celebrate the holidays, Americans are, in effect, expressing the longing and desperation of their soul. You see, we as humans need to have contact with other people. We desire and need to have water, to have food, to sleep, and have personal and social interactions with people. Simply pulling that all the way is not natural. And we see that causing harm and damage right now as well. So rather than talk about all the things you shouldn't be doing, I thought I'd offer a few opportunities for things that you can do in this upcoming holiday season that'll help you stay connected with people, perhaps in a way that you haven't in the past. Now, I've shared a few times the power of phone calls and Zoom and other video conference formats, whether it's Skype or Google Meetings or uh, various other formats and platforms that are available to you for free. I can't stress enough the power there is in making connection with people. And that can be done on a simple phone call. And if you're already doing that, think of doing that more frequently and thinking of doing that with different people. There's a wonderful opportunity to reach out. Are there people from your church who maybe you're not seeing as much of or hearing as much of, but are able to reach out and connect with? I know for me, I haven't sang in my church choir for almost a year now, and I miss those people dearly. But once a week, we have the opportunity to get on a Zoom call, and several of us can spend some time together. And when I make the time to do it, I always feel better after the fact. I'd also share this is a great time when you're staying connected with family who may be far away. As family situations change, it's important to always be connected and be available for folks. And there are those family members we're very close with, maybe some that we're not as close with. This is a great opportunity for you to take the lead and reach out to some of those people that perhaps you haven't been as close with, whether those be family or friends. Set a goal of making a couple calls or contacts a day. Maybe every day you're going to make 2 phone calls or 2 contacts. Be prepared to listen. This is a great act that is, and a great talent and skill that is often overlooked. People pick up the phone and they want to talk. I would encourage you to pick up the phone and ask insightful, inquisitive questions and inquire about other people's days and give them that opportunity to share. Believe me, at the end, you will have that opportunity to share as well, and it'll be a very powerful and meaningful experience for you both. As we come up on the winter months, think of what you can do outside. Now, that's kind of tricky here in the Midwest, right? I mean, we just had our first bout of some flurries and some slush and a little bit of frost this morning. And everybody cringes a little bit as it starts to get this cold. But there's some opportunities that some people have seized that have worked well. I've heard of several garage gatherings with the garage door open and everyone having a coat on, but groups of 4 or 6 gathering and being socially distanced, being able to be outside, sheltered from the worst of the weather. And it's a great way to reconnect with your neighbors as well. So I'm going to share with you our plans for Christmas. We always get together with a group of friends from the area. We all have families who live far away, but for 20 years we've all come together. Clearly we can't do that this year, but they've always loved the meal we've done, and everybody's kind of brought their own piece to the meal. So everybody's still cooking their own piece, and then there'll be about 5 or 6 different families involved. So if we're going to create 5 different packages to give off to the 5 other people that will be at this. And we're all going to meet in a central place, probably an empty parking lot somewhere, with our cars and ourselves, socially distanced and masked. And everyone's going to have a chance to grab what they didn't bring to the party, go back home, and still enjoy the same meal. And we're hoping maybe once we get back, we can even maybe do some video conferencing or some phone calls and bring in some folks that will be traveling from out of town, particularly our children, and see if we can get them engaged as well. So you might want to think about the really weird Zoom mobile potluck idea. A couple other things I wanted to share with you that have been really powerful for folks that have shared with me. This is a great time to get better at remembering those birthdays and anniversaries and special remembrances of friends. If you're out of the store, it's easy to grab a few extra greeting cards. Let's face it, we're not spending it on restaurants and travel right now. We can probably spring for a few greeting cards. And if we're not comfortable going out, we can download cards from the internet or even send e-cards to people's email addresses. But it's a great way to recognize people who maybe in the past you have wanted to and it slipped your mind. This is that great time to make sure you remember all those birthdays or those anniversaries, because that really brightens people's day. The last thing I want to share with you is along a similar line, and I would encourage and challenge each of you to reignite the art and the impact of sending the handwritten note. I began doing this a few years ago, and I continue to be surprised and amazed about the number of people who are so personally touched that I took the time to send them a note congratulating them on a job well done or some achievement or accomplishment. And I remember when my children were going to high school, when people that they barely knew from our church would send them a handwritten note congratulating them on their scholarship or the dance recital or their wonderful performance at a Christmas concert or whatever the case may be. It's a great opportunity to be a positive influence in someone's life, a great opportunity to have a connection, and frankly, you'll feel good doing it as well. I hope this gives you some ideas on some different ways that you can celebrate the holidays this summer, or this season, excuse me, and be connected with folks. It requires initiative on your part and on our part to be able to reach out and make those connections. Some of us, that's very comfortable. For others, it's a little harder. But I have confidence that we can do that. And when we do these things, we'll have a much more enjoyable holiday season despite these changing times. This is Glenn Roebuck from Genesis Health System, wishing you all a very happy holiday season and hope you all are living long and loving life. Have a great holiday. Take care.